Good morning, dear students. I, Vidyasagar, your SS teacher, welcome you all in the e-learning class of Modern International School Hiswa. I am going to start subject history of Standard 7, and this is third video lecture on the topic the Mughal Empire, Chapter 4. Dear students, we have discussed earlier that how the king and their ancestors as well as their successors they have implemented their rules regulation and each of every things which were brought from the Mughal dynasties. Okay, now next is about Mughal tradition of succession. It means what were the tradition, and as we know that if the backgrounded family, if the ancestors they are just presenting a live example, then the successor they also become charged, and they also want to know that how we could also do the great things. Like the Mughals, they did not believe the rule of primogeniture, okay, where the eldest son inherited his father's estate. It means they don't believe that the successor would be like the if a father having the eldest son, then he will be the next successor, or he will be the next king. This type of mentality was not there. Wherever those among the all those sons who are eligible, they were the throne was given to them. Okay, like the wherever they were following the Timurid customs. Okay, it means they were following the Timurid customs or copper canary inheritance. It means the division of the inheritance among all the sons. It means it was for the division among all the sons. Okay, it doesn't mean that a father having the four sons, then the eldest son will be the set on the throne. It will be for all. Okay, it will divide it for all. Like the next is Mughal relation with the other rulers. As we have seen that Mughal rulers they have campaigned constantly against the ruler who refused to accept their authority, as they want that if any of the ruler, if they will not accept our authority, then how we will expand our empire. So it was necessary for them that till any of the ruler is not accepting our authority, we have to suppress them until they should accept it. Okay, like the Rajputs are good example of this. The Rajputs they have accepted it, and as the Jodha, she is married with the King Akbar. Okay, so this the daughters there they were married with Mughal families and received the high positions. Okay, but many of them were resisted, like the Sisodia Rajputs, who were resisting it, who belongs to Mewar, and also refused to accept the Mughal authority for a long time. But once he was defeated, he was honorably treated by Mughals, and their watans, it means their land, whether it was won by the Mughals, but their lands was given to them back. And it was considered that keep this watan, and further they were known as watan jagirs. So there were the careful balance between defeating but not humiliating their opponents, enabled to Mughal extend influence over all the king and chieftains. It means when they came to know, those defeated king, they came to know that Mughal they have been defeating us, they have shown their power to us, but instead of doing that ridiculous things, they have given our land to us and they are just acquiring it, so we have to follow it. It means those kingdoms, those different kingdoms, they went under the Mughal. And this was the main theme, that why the Mughal uh, dynasty it was influencing people, all different chieftains, they were being influenced by the Mughal dynasty. Okay, like the Aurangzeb, who has humiliated Shivaji, and thus Shivaji became the rebel against the Aurangzeb, but it was not in the Akbar's regions. Next is Mansabdar and Jagirs. So Mansabdar, basically the term Mansabdar, it means the ranks. Okay, and Jagirs, it means those revenues collection from the lands. Like the empire, it was expanded from different region to Mughal recruited diverse bodies of people. Okay, from small nucleus of Turkish nobles who were the Turanij. They expanded it, including the Iranians, Indian Muslims, Afghan Rajputs, Maratha, and other groups. Those who joined the Mughal services were enrolled as Mansabdars. It means those peoples. Okay, from any part, any areas, they were joined it. They were considered as Mansabdar. As the term Mansabdar, it means the Mansab, meaning a position or rank in the Mughal period. Okay, this was known as Mansabdars. Like it was one of the grading system, okay, used by Mughal to fix their rank, their salary, their military responsibility. Okay, so rank and salary, it was determined by a numerical value called Jat. It means how much Jat any person having, they will considered as those much rankers, or they will considered as much powerful as much the Jat, okay, they will have. And they will also get the higher the Jat they have, they having the more prestigious, okay, among the nobles, position in court, and larger salaries. This was basically the numerical value which was set in as Jat in the Mughal period. Okay, the Mansabdars, they were responsible for the military and to maintain the specified number of sawars or the cavalrymen. Cavalrymen, those persons who used to ride out the horses during the Mughal period. Okay, the Mansabdars, they brought his cavalrymen for review, got them registered, and also their horses branded and received money to pay them as salary. So basically, to look out after the cavalrymen, to look out after the sawars, these all responsibilities was given to Mansabdars, because the Mansabdars, it was a great responsibility. Okay, you can say simply as chieftains among the Mughal. Okay, so Mansabdars, they received their salaries as revenue assignment called Jagirs. It means the particular Jagirs was given to them, which was somewhat like the Iktas. Unlike the Muktis and Mansabdar did not actually reside administered into the Jagir. Jagir, basically Jagir was that those part of land from which the tax was not taken. Okay, this land was given to the Mansabdars, and further Mansabdar used to collect the taxes from there, and they used to maintain these cavalrymen and all the sawars. So basically Mansabdar, it was a quite good position in the Mughal period. Okay, then they only have the rights to revenue of their assignment which was collected by them and by their servants. Okay, while the Mansabdars, they were serving in another part of the country. It means on behalf of the Mansabdar, the other servants were put in that Jagirs, and they used to collect the revenues. Wherever the Mansabdars, they used to work in the other part of the countries. This means both the work was basically done there. Okay, dear students, read the paragraph and keep watching. Thank you.